They're just young. They haven't done anything. What difference? Another story. But MASH needed young actors. And so Sam gets a break. Sam gets a job that casting directors with 20 years experience were fighting to get. I got the job. I got a break. Now that makes it look like it's easy. That makes it look like life isn't tough. And for about 20 minutes, life wasn't tough. Until I realized, oh, now I got to earn this thing. And I don't have any experience. I'm a fucking idiot, and I got this major break. And now I got to look like I'm smart. Oh, geez, I have to work all the time. And I did. Unfortunately, I had some people around me that said, that's the secret. You know, you get a break, it isn't easy street. A break is usually an introduction to working if you're smart. Otherwise, the break's the end of it. You got the break and then it's over. If you use the break to let yourself work really hard to finally earn the break you got, then you got all this extra experience, maybe a little sooner than other people, and a break can actually roll into other things. But that's the first myth I want to debunk, is the myth of the break. I want each of you to get one. I would just love to hear, and I do sometimes, somebody calls and goes, I got a series! You know? Yes. Great. And sometimes you got it when other friends of yours worked harder and have been at it longer and deserved it more, and you know that, but you got the break. God bless you. And I hope each of you get it. Just know the myth that everything's fine now, man, I got a break. I'm on my way to fame. You're on your way to working 10 times harder than you would have worked had you done it the normal way, because now you got to cover the fact that you didn't do it the normal way by succeeding when you don't know what you're doing. So you got to work hard to learn how to be the thing that you got to be, where other people get to do it the normal way, where they just slowly work their way up to that. That's the first thing So going back, I began to notice, being around actors in a casting situation who were waiting for their break, which some of them got, and some of them got it on MASH. I began to notice just how much stupid crap people were told, and that they actually believed. And I would see actors sacrificing their drive for it, their dream for it, because somebody had told them something that I listened to them repeat, and I just wanted to say, that's not true. And you're giving up, or you're accepting less than you should, or you're doubting your talents because you were told that. That's just not a true thing. And so I began to feel almost like it was my job to correct these things. And the first one I wanted to correct was some things about the casting environment, because other casting directors had told me how the casting environment ought to be. Don't let them get to you. Don't let them get close to you, because they'll start to ask for things that you can't give them. Don't let actors think that you actually care about them, because they'll take advantage of that. That's the kind of thing casting directors would tell me. And I would go, then I don't think I want to be a casting director. It doesn't sound like it's nice. So I ran my office a little bit differently than that. And then people would come back and say, I heard you're the nicest casting director in Hollywood. And I'd go, well, I don't know. Because I wasn't trying to be nice. I was trying to make it an environment where people could relax enough to do good work. If I could erase, oh no, you got to keep that pressure on them, because they'll take advantage. Didn't seem to be true to me. So I began to discover for myself that I had to debunk some of the things I'd been told I should do in order to succeed, in order to stay partitioned off and safe, you know? I started to debunk that stuff for myself and started to want to do that for actors when I would hear it. I'm hearing. So, you know, I'm always trying to figure out what to talk about at follow-up. And I can't tell you the exact story because it happened a couple of months ago, but it was something that came up in one of the acting classes. One of the people, as we were working, said, well, you know, I've been told this about how to rehearse, that you have to do this. And I went, really? Wow. I don't think so. I don't think that's quite. And I realized that this person had been harming her approach to acting, to rehearsing, to preparing now for years. For years, she had been operating under something she was told that wasn't true. That just wasn't true. And at that moment, I went, okay, I'm doing a follow-up about this. I want to do a follow-up about all these things that you've heard. And I'm hoping that as I'm going to go through some of them I know, and I'm hoping you notice I have the grab bag of bunk up here on one of the things. That's because I'll bet that several of you go, you know, I've heard, and then I'm going to do my best to tell you whether that's bunk or not, or what part of it's bunk. Or if you're emphasizing it too much, it is really bunk, but you're putting too much weight on it because it's not that important. All right? I think I want to start with auditions, casting directors, and the couch. I hope you all have discovered by now that one of the great pieces of Hollywood bunk is that there's a casting couch. Now, it isn't that it doesn't exist. It isn't that there isn't sexual harassment in Hollywood. There's sexual harassment in every sphere of business, worldwide, American and international. It doesn't happen just to women. It doesn't always happen that the person in power is harassing the person out of power. Sometimes it's the other way around. I actually experienced it from actors. I actually experienced the offers that some actors would, and I use the term actor generically, meaning of both genders, and that's harassment too. That's harassment to say to somebody, well, you know what I'd be willing to do. All right? It's the same thing. It isn't that that doesn't happen, but in maybe the 12 to 13,000 interviews that I did during my directing time, it happened twice. So the fact that there is some couch to be afraid of is bunk. If it keeps happening to you, I would take note of that, because probably there's something to look at there. But there isn't some underlying plot by people in power to take advantage of actors. Now, the people that do it mean to do it. And that is not bunk, and it should be dealt with directly and immediately, like in any other sphere. Anybody, anytime, treats you inappropriately, one must speak up immediately, one must tell people who should know, and one must take care of that because it doesn't belong anywhere. But it isn't something peculiar to our industry. It isn't something that more of happens here than happens anywhere else. Powerful people will sometimes use that, and sometimes people without the power will sometimes use it too. That's a big one I want to just erase, because far too many decisions are made about that. Far too many young actors and actresses in town limit the amount that they are willing to be themselves and be available to their work because they are afraid they will engender inappropriate behavior from others. I don't think it engenders anything. I think the people who are going to behave inappropriately are going to do it no matter what you do. So I certainly wouldn't curtail being yourselves for that reason. Here's another one.